Today I'm speaking to Franz Marzan, the ski product manager for Scott. Hi, Franz. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks.
Good, good. Can you tell me a little bit about Scott, the company? I believe it started way back in the 1950s by bringing out the first aluminium tapered ski pole.
Yeah, exactly. So at that time I wasn't born, so I cannot tell you a bit more. But so it was born around a ski pole. So it's really a brand that grew up into ski winter sports.
Yeah.
So with ski poles and then with goggles. Then it extends the range to moto goggles.
Yeah.
And then to coming to the bike market in something around 2000 and into the running division around 2005. So it's really a brand that is targeting outdoor activities with winter, moto, bike and running.
Yeah, so quite diverse.
Exactly, yeah. That's a good strength for a brand to be balanced in between different division, and also it brings a DNA into the company also that maybe we discuss later into product creation.
I mean, as a company, obviously, it's been a difficult time for anybody in recent years with the pandemic. I mean, how did that affect business?
So on the winter side, on a bad way, because like, for example, in France, all lifts were closed and yeah, people were not really traveling. And we know that, in Europe, people need to travel to come skiing. For sure, we have some local skiers, but we have also a lot of people traveling. So it's really, it affects the winter division, but at the same time, people were going more for touring to be out of the big group of people on the resort. So on our side, we did have a very good touring growth in our division, and touring is a key segment for Scott. And on the other division, just quickly, but we all know that the bike market have also be profiting for this COVID, and people want to be a bit more outside and practice more sports, so that was quite good.
Yeah. I mean, as yourself, how long have you worked for the company?
Almost 5 years.
And obviously that 5 years, the pandemic was a big part of that as well. I mean, when you came into the company and, starting off, everything's going well, and then suddenly COVID hits. I mean, personally, what did you do in that job? How did you position the company then, or your department?
Like working in the sport industry, you always need to be agile and to react regarding conditions, specifically on winter. We all know that any winter are different and always things are happening. So I think I will not say people were prepared, but they are used to react and to modify some strategy because of COVID. So it's affect all of us, but I think we did have the good reaction, and I think it's never a routine when you are working in the sport industry. That's a bit what I'm learning for this COVID situation, but also for other events.
So do you think as a company and as a department, you're stronger now than you were before before COVID, in that you've come over this kind of almost unsurmountable problem, and you've put things in place that you can always use in the future?
One big learning is, like everything was going down during COVID, so everyone reduced production and everything start again after. So everybody order more. Like, for example, on the touring segment, everybody order a lot because everybody was having the feeling that everyone will go touring. And then we got a lot of complication on the supply chain, for example, with late delivery. And now we can see that, for example, the touring market is overcrowded with products because everybody ordered too much. And we did our mistake, but shop and other brands also did the same mistakes. So for sure, that's the learnings. Like when you have everything going down, you can, the market is asking to compensate it. Like if you are selling 10 and because of COVID, you are selling 2, for sure, market need 18. but it don't mean that it will be stable after at 18 level. It will be go back somewhere. So that was a big learning also to say, okay, we need to compensate what happened, but don't too much react, because otherwise you have complication on the supply chain, on the stock and everything.
So how has the last year been? I mean, obviously it's kind of almost getting back to normal in that people are going out now and they'll get hitting the slopes again. Did you see an uptake in business in that perspective?
So it was not as good as previous COVID, because the winter, the lack of snow was not, in Europe specifically we are lacking of snow. So there was a bit less people, for example, on Christmas time in the resort. But January have been extremely good. And like the month of February, where there is all holidays, have been super crowded on the big resort. On the small one or lower elevation, it has been more challenging. So it has been quite a good season, except on touring that have been suffering a lot, because a lot of stock and people want to ski again in resort and enjoy the lifestyle of skiing.
Yeah, I believe that there's been kind of some more snowfall over the recent months or recent kind of weeks, and heading in towards Easter and that final kind of end of the season racing. Does that look like it's going to be a little uptick there?
I'm not like living in the working in a shop, but from my understanding, still a lot of things have been gone. Like all the planned holidays are done yet. You don't really react, and people in like late March, early April, they are more looking into spring and summer season. But it's still good for locals, for passionate skiers, and like all those people that have been frustrated during the winter, they are going now skiing and get this amazing feeling of being in the mountain for skiing and enjoying it. So I think it will give the taste again to a lot of people, and that's still important. We need passionate skiers. We need people for making business, but we also need passionate skiers.
Brilliant. I mean, the company's always been at the forefront of innovation and new things. Do you have new products coming out, or kind of new materials towards 23, 24?
Yeah. So like for sure, during the last 3 years with COVID and everything, we have to challenge a bit our plans, our product development plan. So there have been some modification, but we have been awarded at ISPO in November on, for example, a new ski called Pure Tour. And here the development was really based into into the resource program at Scott. It means the more environment material use of materials. And for example, with this development, we have been able to reduce the impact footprint of material by a quarter almost. And this has been super interesting in terms of developing research of material, impact measurement, and also on snow behavior, because when you are used to looking for performance and lightness, that's a bit the mantra at Scott, you don't find exactly the same skiability. And this product have been super appreciated because it's super comfortable and super accessible. And I think that's a good extension of our product portfolio, having a product that is like very easy to ski, very accessible, but still delivering like good sensation. And that's opened us a bit some new, consumer category.
You've also had innovation within your clothing and backpack ranges as well. I mean, you've won awards for those as well. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
Yeah. So on backpack, we have been one of the first ones to use electric system for avalanche backpack, and we are still pushing in this direction with our partner Alpride. And the focus for 23-24 was to deliver a super light backpack, so the lightest avalanche backpack on the market. So using some new materials to make an avalanche backpack, super easy and comfortable for free riding or touring.
I mean, that's the thing. Obviously, come safety, and also, I think the big thing these days is sustainability, which you've touched on. I mean, how important is sustainability across all your ranges?
So we are a Swiss brand, so we don't take shortcuts. That's a bit the mantra of the Scott brand. So since I joined the company 5 years ago, there was always research and evaluation and commitment into that direction, but we were not pushing that too much externally because we don't want to say things that we are not doing. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing at Scott. We really say stuff that we are sure and don't make too much of greenwashing. Mm-hmm. We do have a CSR program called Resource, and it's also about the environment, the people, and the product. So on the product side, we do have done a lot of stuff on the clothing department. Mm-hmm. I think more than 40% of the range got the label because we are using fabric that are recycled, for example. And our criteria is always to target a product with a minimum of 50% of the weight coming from renewable or recycled material. That's our commitment. And then we have pushed this into hard goods. So on the skis, we are looking for new materials. We have a program on the goggles by collecting all goggles and making new frame of it. So it's the Shield recycled, the Shield resource goggles. Mm-hmm. And we have done also a lot of work on our bestseller touring ski boots, so the Cosmos. And we are launching for 23-24 Scott Cosmos resource with more than 50% of the weight of recycled or natural material. So we are committing into that. We are pushing into that. For sure, on the hard goods part, at the moment, it's still few products. But for the future, it's something we are integrating on all our product briefing. And like our new lens technology or our new helmets will use more and more recycled material because personally, this is the way to go.
I mean, that's it. If you don't have that kind of credibility these days, then people aren't going to be looking at your product. I mean, it's all about the kind of the circular economy, and the more and more that you can recycle equipment and bring it back into the marketplace is something that I think everybody is looking at. I mean, as you mentioned, goggles being kind of refitted and reused. I mean, is there anything kind of specific along those lines that you can tell us about that you're doing, or any future plans that you have of kind of bringing that kind of circular economy in?
So one point about this is, for sure, the circular economy is super important, but we are the first facing the climate changing in the mountain. Like we see like winter with less and less snow, so we have to move in that direction. We have some prototype at the moment where we try to use recycled material coming from other product division at Scott. Mm-hmm. And this cross division circular, not economy, but reuse of material will be, I hope, something we can integrate in our product in the future. So that's super important to think about not only recycling boots to make another ski boots, mm-hmm. but maybe cross connection between departments.
Excellent. So everybody's hoping now for a great 23-24 season. Lots of snow, and lots of product sales. So it should be, hopefully, fingers crossed, a good season.
Yeah,
we
hope for that. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Scott's a global brand. So are you looking, I mean, what's your summer season like? Is it kind of, I wouldn't say slowing down, but not as busy?
Not really. For sure, on the sales side, it's a bit different, but on the development side, it's really a job, a full-time job, and there is not really low season because it's need time to develop a product. And
Yeah.
as you know, in our industry, we have to sell first the product to the shop. So it means that we are always at least 1 year early than the shop. So products that are coming in the shop have been approved by the shop and tested by the shop the year before. So it's really a full-time job, a full-time commitment into developing product. And yeah, there is not really some low period.
Yeah. Well, I wish you all the best for 23-24 and going forward.
Thank
It's
you.
been great speaking to you. Is there anything you want to talk about that we haven't touched upon? Anything new that Scott's doing that we kind of skated past?
No, I think we go through like all the topics, and yeah, maybe we'll have some other topics to discuss in the future.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks a lot. That's great, and I wish you all the luck in the future.
Thank you, Mark. Bye bye.
Okay.